Hi! How you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. I think it's about time I made a video specifically about this, addressing this. I try to implement this into almost all my videos, even the more negative, depressing, or angry ones. This is something I consider most important, something I consider that is being lost, ignored, forgotten, and I refuse to back down from it. And that is positivity in video games and why I am so positive about video games. Let me say right off the bat, you've heard me say this a million times in hundreds of my videos, I love video games. I love them, I truly do. Even the games I dislike, even the video games I dislike, I love them. All the little issues and annoyances I have with games, the things I disagree with, you know what, I love them too. I love video games as a whole, I love every single element, aspect, individual piece, and part of them. I love video games. And when it comes to me, when there's something that I love, whether it be video games, a movie, friends, or family, when I love someone or something, I don't let the little disagreements, the little annoyances, the little hiccups, the little mistakes, I don't let the little things cloud out the big picture. Unless that person or that thing that I love does something truly horrible, to give a hypothetical extreme example, kill someone, unless that person or thing that I love does something truly horrific, you're stuck with me, baby. And you see, I've lived a life without video games. It wasn't till around 2009 that I got an actual legitimate gaming PC. Before then, I knew video games existed, I owned a couple, played a few here and there, but for the most part, I was someone who watched TV, read books, and played with their imagination. Growing up, I didn't have access to video games, I didn't have the hardware to play video games. I knew they existed, but I never truly saw or realized their potential and the beautiful nature of them. Comparing video games to movies, books, and imagination, in terms of a fun hobby to do in your free time, video games simply blow all of them out of the water. How can I hate something? How can I be so mad and vitriolic against something that has brought me so much joy? I see this time and time again in comment sections and YouTube videos of people saying, we love video games, I love video games, that's why I'm so angry at them and I hate them. And I would argue there's a difference between tolerance and passion. You say you love video games, but it seems more like you tolerate them. You play them and yet you criticize, you belittle, you disapprove aspects of them or them as a whole over and over again, while completely ignoring the qualities and merits of that game, letting the parts of it you dislike and disagree with overshadow everything else that game has to offer. I see this time and time again. Just how petty people have become over video games. And I refuse to be like that, I refuse to support that, because video games are a beautiful and amazing thing that should be cherished. Can I still talk about the things I dislike and disagree with about video games and certain games? Sure, yeah, absolutely, but there will never ever be hate in my heart for that game as a whole or a part of it, because I've lived in a world without video games. And while it's not bad by any means, it sure is hell boring when compared to video games. And when you look at what video games have accomplished through their visuals, their stories, their gameplay mechanics, from my opinion, from my perspective, from my point of view, I can't see why you would hate them. How can you say you love something but get so angry and vitriolic over it? That doesn't sound like love to me. That doesn't sound like passion. That sounds like tolerance, like you're tolerating something. Why spend your time tolerating something when you can spend your time doing something you truly enjoy? I mean, video games are a hobby, a form of entertainment, not a job. It makes sense to tolerate a job. We can't always get our dream job. So it makes sense to tolerate a job, bitch about a job, be mad at the job. But no one's forcing you to play a video game you don't like. And that is why I am so happy and I have such a positive outlook on video games, because I play the games I like. I look for what interests me. I don't play anything and everything. If I did, maybe I would have a more negative outlook on video games, but I look for what I like. I don't buy into hype. I never 100% trust reviews. I look at a game, I look at its genre, I look at its gameplay, I look at its setting, and I see if it's for me. And video games, man, video games are just for me. They have everything I love when it comes to fiction, action, adventure, sci-fi, fantasy, robots, dragons, epic battles, deep personal stories. I love all these things, and video games provide. Another reason I am so positive about video games is that I have a deep deep respect for video game development, because I once tried to make a video game years ago. Back around 2010, 2011, I was inspired to make my own game, and then after days, weeks, months on end on trying to get a functional prototype working, I came to the realization that, hey, video games are really hard to make. They are an art like any art that require skill, and skillful video game development is a beautiful thing to see in action. When you understand how video game development works, when you understand all the intricate processes, details, and how the pieces come together, it's a beautiful puzzle of coding, animation, timed events, and so much more. You have a much greater appreciation of the media, of the art, of the craftsmanship in general when you understand it and have tried it yourself. I have a much greater appreciation of chefs and cooking and making food in general after watching several shows, documentaries, and cooking food for myself. Actually learning to cook food for myself has been a pleasure. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but I can make a pretty mean steak dinner. Couldn't make a video game if my life depended on it, but that's why I have such an appreciation for the people who actually can. And why I love and am so positive about video games when I understand the passion, the work, the time, the struggle to make everything fall into place and create order out of chaos. I highly recommend, if you want to grow and understand, watch some documentaries on the development of games or interviews and podcasts with video game developers. It's incredibly insightful, and I would hope it would help spark more of an appreciation for video games and video game development for you. But there is one more reason why, specifically on my YouTube channel and in my YouTube videos, I try to promote positivity and why I am so positive about video games. Yes, it's because I absolutely adore video games. Yes, it's because I take the time to research and look for the games that I know I will enjoy. Yes, because I've done research, dipped my toe into video game development, follow and understand video game development, and therefore have a great appreciation for the art. Those are, without a doubt, the most important reasons why I am so positive about video games and why I love video games, but there is another reason specifically when it comes to my YouTube channel. Everyone else on YouTube seems to be a whiny bitch about video games. Like I talked about earlier, you see time and time again in comment sections and in YouTube videos people saying they love video games, yet all they ever do is bash and berate, yell and scream and hate about video games that they dislike, or certain aspects of games that they dislike. They'll go on and on about how much they love video games, and how it's the video game industry's fault they're not enjoying video games. Here's a genius thought. Look for the games that you know you will like. Look for games that will appeal to you. Don't just buy video games willy-nilly, and you won't be disappointed when you play a game that just doesn't work for you. Also, if you're a gaming YouTuber and you say you love video games, yet all you do is produce videos and video content about video games that is solely negative and criticism, then I'm sorry, I find it very difficult to believe that you love video games. If you say you love video games, then you would provide a balance of content. You would talk about the games you do like, the video games you do love, the video games you do enjoy, and the aspects and mechanics of video games you love and enjoy to provide an equal counterbalance to the stuff you dislike and don't enjoy. That way, you provide reference for what you like and dislike. That way, not only your audience gains an understanding of your perspective and your preferences of video games, but so do video game developers. Video game developers can't improve upon your games if you just keep saying everything's shit, everything's bad. Provide a counter. Provide a reference for something that's good, that you like. But, however, that is not what I see people in comment sections and people in YouTube videos doing. Just negative, hate, video games suck, blah, blah, blah. Same old spiel, it's a cliche at this point. Saying what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing, isn't really in vogue. It's not the mainstream thing to do. What? You love video games? You're positive about video games? You must be a madman, a shill. Nah, I just really love video games, and I like to provide a counterbalance to all the negativity. If no one else is going to point out how awesome video games are and the qualities and merits of video games, then fine, let it be me. I love video games. Video games are awesome. I'm a positive person. I'm a happy person. So I'm going to keep spreading a positive message and spread positivity about video games through my videos. Will I bring up more negative topics? Will I talk about stuff that I dislike or disagree with? For sure. but that will never be the majority of my content, that will never be the majority of my videos, that will never be the sole and only message I try to send. And you know what? I've said this before, but I don't think I've made it official enough. Even the games I dislike, even video games I don't like and I don't play, they themselves are still good, quality video games with their own merits. They're just not for me, but I can still recommend them to people, to gamers with different tastes than me. Because video games appeal to everyone. There's a video game out there for anyone and everyone. Let that be, at the end of the day, the message I want to get through to people. I love video games are awesome, and there is one out there for you. Anyways, that has been a video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, please let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section down below. I love reading comments. Getting nearly enough comments, please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I'll see you all later, and keep being positive.